Welcome to the Guidance for Light and Sound Meditation video series with Mark from PureEnergyMeditation.com. This is video number 24 of 45. Hello and welcome back to another video in the online meditation video course that I've put together. My name's Mark and I'm your meditation guide and teacher. Okay, in the last video we looked at one of the energy centers that make up your chakra system, and it's called the solar plexus. But now we're going to move up to another center that I'm pretty sure most of you are going to be familiar with, even if you don't know it as a chakra. And this is your heart center. This for me is such a special kind of video and a beautiful place to have reached in this series of videos. If we look at our main chakras, we've got 7 chakras, and the one in the middle is the heart, and it really is the turning point. The ones below mirror the ones above. And you've probably heard of this, the saying, as above, so below. The heart chakra really is special. And throughout these videos so far, I've brought up the idea of love and stillness a little bit. So this is really an opportunity to explore it that little bit more. Because behind everything is love. On a philosophical level, the state of enlightenment, the highest state of consciousness, or actually beyond consciousness, that a person or anything can attain, is love. It's as simple as that. It's the raw potential before things come into manifestation. It's got so many different names, but the easiest one to understand is love. And that's because if we look at what love is, love just accepts. It's not yin or yang. It's not light or dark. It's not hot or cold. It is not an opposite. It doesn't have any imbalance. It's pure neutrality. It's where opposites are reconciled. So in the physical world that we live in, the expression of love, or one of the expressions of love, is yin and yang energy coming together. It's the fundamental basis of relationships. And in other ways it will be expressed, and we can experience love in many different ways. The love we have for our family, the love we have for our children, the love we have for our partner, the love we have for ourselves, importantly, the love we have for food, the love we have for art, music. So many things can evoke a feeling of love. And the heart center is that center within us as a human being that allows us to experience love, and through which we love. It's all your chakras really are a limit in the sense that they exist somewhere in time and space. So your true nature is limitless, and your true nature goes well beyond your chakras. And this isn't just a philosophy, this is something that you can actually experience for yourself. And we'll move on to talk about that in future videos. But the thread that runs through this is love. So on higher levels of awareness and consciousness that have nothing to do with your chakras, you're still effectively becoming more centered in love. And as that love kind of funnels down and becomes more crystallized into human beingness, into this physical body, this emotional body, this mental body, our intuitive, our atmic, and all the subtle aspects in between, and part of that is that we have this heart chakra, then this is where we can experience that love that on a much higher level is effectively purer, more unified, but it still expresses on every single level. And as I said, we can experience love on every level. And the heart on a physical level is how we literally spread blood, which is the life-giving physical aspect of what makes you alive. So blood needs to be oxygenated, and then it travels around the body, taking oxygen, which is vital for the body, and nutrients and everything to every part of the body. So in other words, in a physical level, you're nurturing yourself through the blood, which is pumped from the center, from the heart. And so just on a physical, anatomical level, it's the center of life moving outwards. And then emotionally, if you've ever been lucky enough to be in love, you'll know what it's like to feel your heart open and to surround the other person and to lose your limits and your edges in their embrace. And whether it's when you're holding your newborn child or your grandchild, or you're just moved by a piece of music, you'll feel this center opening. And I could go on. It's such a beautiful place to be and to talk from. But let's bring it down into a way that we can understand it from meditation and how it can benefit us in meditation. And we are going to do some guided meditation in a moment. But let's look at what love is as a principle. So how can we demonstrate love in a way that helps us to become stiller, and by becoming stiller, to become more connected with love? So love, as I said, it's not positive or negative, light or dark, hot or cold. It isn't an opposite. It's the space in the middle where the opposites have come together and cancelled each other out. So it's neutrality. And so when we sit in meditation and we're observing, whether we're observing our mind or our emotions or stillness or some energetic experience within the stillness, if we sit in neutrality and just accept what we're aware of, then that's us demonstrating love. And in some of the other meditates where I've taken you through your body at the start of a meditate as a way of relaxing, I'm encouraging you to notice your body in a way where you're not judging it, you're just accepting it. And by accepting it, aches and pains and everything included, by accepting it, you're demonstrating love. And then you're not supporting the imbalances as much, because, for example, if your mind's all over the place and you're sitting in meditation and you're sitting there judging your mind, going, oh, I could be stiller, I was much better last time I meditated, oh, this is terrible, I'm never going to be able to be still, and all this kind of negative talk, you're not being neutral, you're being very judgmental. And that's natural because that's the nature of your mind. But that's not a great place to sit. So we can start to learn how to sit in our heart. And from the heart space, if you like, or from the heart vibration, we can just go, I just accept. I accept that my mind is the way it is at this particular time, and that's okay. I accept that my body is the way it is at this particular time, and that's okay. I accept these feelings I have about other people. I accept these feelings I have about myself. And the more you just accept stuff and bring them into your heart, then there's no resistance there. If we go back to the big concept, which again I must stress, it's not just a concept. This is something that you can be from, not just have an experience of, but enlightenment is possible. That's the whole point of more advanced forms of meditation, light and sound, is a journey to enlightenment that is achievable. Otherwise, it's just a philosophy, a belief. But I'm not into philosophies and beliefs. I'm into people finding out for themselves, as I've done and many others have. So if we think about that absolute state, which is enlightenment, it is love. It's absolute love. It's unconditional love. And from there are no edges. If there was an edge, then there'd be a limit. And if there was a limit, it wouldn't be limitless. There's no time. Because if there was time, then there'd be a time before love existed. But it's eternal, so there is no time. And so it's limitless, and there is no time. And so there's just being. And not even, I was going to say just being present, but it's not even that, because present is still a reference to time. So that state is just being, not doing. So we call ourselves human beings, but really we're human doings. And so as we sit more in love, we're just being. And so that's the highest kind of expression of it. Having attained enlightenment myself and having helped other people to attain it, I know quite a few people now who have experienced this for themselves, and it's not even an experience because it's a permanent state of consciousness. But when we talk about it between ourselves, we're still using different words because the words will never express love. The only way to know love is to know love, is to be love. So again, the stepping stones to this, the expansion of this journey is to, first of all, discover the love that you already have. Or another way of putting it is to love the stillness and the space you already have access to. So that when you have access to higher forms of meditation and faster vibrations that with them bring about a kind of a quantum shift in consciousness, you're already practiced at letting go into the space, and therefore you'll find an ease in letting go into these bigger spaces. So in a practical way, there's things we can do in meditation that can reverberate into our lives, helping us to become more aligned with love and able to express love, and also helping us to let go in our meditation and become much more at ease. For those of you that have already read the book, then you'll know that in the book I also talk about channeling love. But before we can give love or channel it out to others, we first of all need to fill our own cup. We need to be full of love ourselves. So I'm just going to do a little guided meditate now to help us to just align with our heart chakra, to open it up, to explore love in this expression, in this way of understanding it. If you haven't already done so, you can close your eyes and just become more present, noticing whatever you notice. Noticing the outside, any sounds, any sensations, anything that gets your attention. And breathing in and letting go. Then you can also notice the inside, with your eyes closed, becoming more aware of what it's like on the inside, what you see and what you don't see, what you feel and what you don't feel, and what you hear on the inside and what you don't hear. And taking another deeper breath, allow your inner awareness to begin to become stiller, still. Now, and maybe you've heard about the heart chakra or the heart center, as some people call it. And when we think about the heart, on one level, we think about how it helps things to flow, the blood around the body, nourishing, supporting, healing. And in other ways, we think about the heart center as a center of love. And so as you take another breath in, you can allow that breath to flow all the way to your heart, noticing whatever you notice, and then letting go. And as you breathe out, you can allow yourself to become more centered in that heart space on the inside, noticing, accepting, and letting go. Because as we think about the principle of love, it doesn't judge, and it doesn't need things to change. It just accepts. So whatever you're aware of at this particular time, whether it's things on the outside or things on the inside, just accept, notice, and then let go. By accepting, you demonstrate love. And taking another breath all the way down into your body. Relax even more. to accept and let go. And it's natural that when we think about love, we recognize it in those things that we love. We experience it in the sending and the receiving. But as you breathe in and as you just accept and start to notice more of what it's like on the inside, then now is a time to enjoy experiencing what it's like to receive love. And so, without visualizing or thinking or needing to do or make anything happen, simply as you breathe in and as you let go, have the intention to allow love to flow into you. Now, notice what you notice. Accept it. And then let go of whatever you're aware of. To allow that intention to become even stronger. Let love flow into you. Really let love in. And just enjoy receiving love. And as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, softly, gently, have the intention to allow that love to spread to every part of your body, to go wherever it's needed, automatically, to heal, to balance, and to just accept you as you are right now. And relax even more. And again, as you breathe in and as you let go, have the intention to go more into your heart center, that space on the inside. noticing what you notice. And allow the breath to flow directly into your heart and to leave from your heart center, expanding with each breath, becoming softer with each exhale. Allow love in, filling with love. Overflowing. Enjoy. And on the inside, hear your own voice. Repeat to yourself, I love you. Hear your own voice on the inside. Say to that you that is sitting here, I love you. Accepting, supporting, letting go. And as you're sitting in this space, then if you want to, staying still, staying present, staying neutral, you can simply turn your hands so that they are palms facing up and resting on your lap or whatever is comfortable. Stiller, still, and without trying, without visualizing or doing anything, simply have the intention to send love out into the world and notice what that's like. And notice what changes as you have the intention to allow love to flow into you now. And as you breathe in, and as you relax, you can become even more centered in this particular space. on the inside. I love you. Notice what you notice. Love. Just love. Allow that word to soothe, to move through you, to resonate. Love. And as you take another breath, feeling the breath expand you, then you can allow that loving awareness to begin to spread throughout your body, all the way to the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes, so that in the next few moments, when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and observe whatever's in front of you with this loving, accepting awareness. Opening your eyes now. Okay, so what we're really understanding now is that it's okay to put ourselves first. In fact, we have to, because we can only give what we have of ourselves. In other words, if we don't have love inside us, we can't give love to another person. If we don't have love inside us, we can't recognize love in another person or in other things around us. So the world around us is simply a mirror, and the more we have love here, then the more we see love, experience love, and receive love from the world around us. And then we're more able to give love. So we have to start with ourselves, and there's nothing selfish about that. It is the way things are, and that's okay. So when we notice this center, then we can also notice that there may be times in our life when, for whatever reason, maybe we've been broken-hearted, maybe we've experienced upset, that it feels like there's blocks. And it's much healthier to just acknowledge these things than pretend that they're not there. So, just as we did before with the solar plexus, when we noticed that there was a block, then we can use the breath and we can use our presence on the inside to just acknowledge it, which is a form of loving, and to work with our heart chakra to help it to expand and to open more. And the first thing to do is to do what we've just done in this guided meditate, which is to just let love in. And as I said, we don't want to be too visual about it. We don't want to be over prescriptive. We just want to let it happen naturally and set that intention. It's like set the intention and let it go. So I allow love into me. You don't even have to say into my heart or into my heart chakra. Just I allow myself to fill with love, or whatever resonates for you. But we can also use the breathing. So if you do feel like there's a block, like maybe when you're aware on the inside, you can get so far, but it feels like you can't get past your heart, then we can do the breathing we did before. So we're breathing into the heart and we're letting go from the heart. And each breath is simply like a wave, just soothing the beach. So eventually all those footprints in the sand and all those imperfections in the beach get taken away by the waves. And the beach is left nice and clear, how it's meant to be. And in the same way, the breath comes in and the breath leaves. And with every passing breath, we're just letting go a little bit more and dissolving any imbalances, any blocks, any tension. And that can be really beautiful and really healing, and it can be that simple. But it also starts with just being kind to yourself. And if you are brokenhearted, if you have had upsets in your life, then that's okay. It's okay to just acknowledge that, to forgive yourself. It's in the past, so it's time to just let go. But I also want to share a story that can help people in another situation, and it's very much around the heart chakra. So if you've ever had someone that, maybe it's a friend and the relationship has kind of gone a bit sour, or it's an ex-partner or a family member or something, someone that's close to you, that when things aren't aligned in the relationship, it can be really hurtful because you've loved this person, you've cared about this person, and now they're hurting you, or you're allowing yourself to be hurt by them. And sadly, life being what it is, these things come up for us. And when they come up, they're a great opportunity to learn. And they're sometimes just what needs to happen to allow things to move on in life. So there's no judgment, and there's no criticism, and there's no beating yourself up over these things. But what I want to share with you is an insight that I had quite a few years ago that for me was very powerful, and I've shared it with a few people and it's really helped them. So I'm going to share it here now, since we're talking about the heart. And there was someone in my life that had been really close to me, and the relationship had changed and we were going our separate ways, but it was quite a painful process. And I was trying to stay neutral and not respond and not be drawn into any negativity. But nonetheless, I was feeling a lot of pain because of the way that things were unfolding. And I'd forgiven that person and I was trying to move on. But there were things happening that kept on bringing it back and making it feel quite raw and painful. And my heart was breaking because I still had a lot of love for this person, despite everything that they were, the way that they were acting. And I would try and rationally put them in a box or move them out of my mind, but life kept on bringing them back in. And no matter where I tried to place them in my life, psychologically, I was being hurt by their actions. And you could say I was allowing myself to be hurt, but I didn't feel like there was any real control. And so one day I took it inside the whole situation, and I took it inside in my meditation. And when you're in real stillness, you can really tap into your intuition and inner guidance. And so I kind of asked on the inside, what am I to do? Because this pain is real, and the sorrow I have about the situation is real, and I'm trying my best to just be a good person, forgive them, but I keep experiencing this pain. And I just heard very clearly, put them in your heart. Now, when someone's deliberately hurting you, that seems like quite a strange thing to say. Put this person that's hurting you in your heart. But years of meditation has really taught me to trust. When you get these insights, just trust them. And so I did in my meditation. And again, I wasn't overly visual about it. I wasn't overly prescriptive. I just set the intention. I put this person in my heart. And the moment I did, it was like a transformation. All the pain went away. It's as if in this space, which is totally neutral and totally accepting, there was nothing they could do that would upset me because they had my love. And I couldn't feel any pain because all the imbalances were just being, if you like, absorbed by this big neutral space. And I knew where they were, so I didn't feel any tension about literally looking over my shoulder or anything. So it just resolved so much. And literally from that moment on, I have love for this person, I've forgiven them, and I've moved on. And they can't affect me anymore. And it's not about who's right or who's wrong. There's, if I'm sure if we both go back in time, there's things we both do differently. But it's such a nice place to be able to forgive someone and to really genuinely move on and to not be affected by them. And the secret was putting them in the heart. But you can only do that when your heart's open. So you do have to be in that space where you can sit in that neutrality and that pure love and just accept that person, accept where they are, accept yourself and accept where you are, and move on from the judgment side of things. So this may be completely irrelevant to yourself, but there may be people in your life who are experiencing heartache or suffering because of another person, and sharing this with them may really, really help. But first of all, if someone is in a painful place in terms of their heart, then the first thing I'd share with them is this exercise of just letting love in, letting the heart heal. And when they're healed, then you can maybe introduce the idea of put that person in your heart and notice what that's like. Because if everyone in the world had the people around them in their hearts, the world would be a lovely place. And I guess it may sound like a cliche, but there's one person that we've got to remember to have in our heart, and that's you. So always make sure that you've got yourself in your heart, that you are accepting yourself unconditionally, that you have love for yourself, that you can give love to yourself, and that you're receiving love from yourself. It's so important because many of us are brought up almost feeling ashamed to acknowledge self-love. In modern society, it's seen as narcissistic or ego-based, but there's a difference between ego, which is serving self at the cost of others and you know, aligning yourself with your limits, and experiencing self-love, which is the complete opposite of ego. It takes you more towards love. It reduces your ego. It dissolves your ego. So give yourself permission to explore all the different relationships you have with yourself in terms of love, and then with other people. And whenever you meditate, even if it's just for a couple of seconds at the start or at the end, or even longer if you want, just have the intention to let love flow into your heart, and notice how that changes things, and notice how that helps you to connect with love. Because ultimately, meditation is a journey, is an opportunity, if you want, to align with love, which is aligning with that stillness that surrounds everything, that pure potential that is the cause of everything. And ultimately, if you do want to take it further and actually realize enlightenment, then you're going to realize that you are love. Not love doing, not love moving, just love being. So thank you for watching this video, and all I'll say is love your meditation, love yourself, because it really is what's behind everything. And with this, I'll just say I love you, and I'll leave you, and I'll see you in the next video. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I really hope you found it enjoyable, but also useful. If you've not already done so, then check out the first video that I did, and then all the subsequent videos, because watching them in the order that they're presented, you'll get the most benefit from them. As with all the other things I do, including the teaching, MP3 downloads, articles and the ebook, everything I do for free. And I put it out there simply to help people just like you to get the most from their meditation. So please do feel free to share this video with others. And if you've not already had a look, then head on over to my website, where you'll find lots of downloads, useful articles, and even a free ebook. And most importantly, enjoy meditating and putting into practice these different techniques and things that we're learning. Thank you again for taking the time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.